on time and very interesting topic. And maybe we will collect questions and we will answer afterwards. And our second this session is Dr. Anat Feldman.
Anat.
From Academic College. And her topic is women and modernity in the writings of Rabbi Ovadia Yosef, right?
Why?
Thank you. Now,
wait a minute. I try to share my screen. Yeah, it's fine. We can see your screen now. Can you see? Can you see it? Yes, we can see it. Wait a minute. Something does not add up. I can't see. I hope it will be fine. So hello, I'd like to relate to what Esti said and to talk about women and political activities. I have been studying the Shas party. I wrote my PhD on Shas. I was trying to figure out the story behind this party, Shas party. And that was the type of, it was a very hard work. And one of the questions that I asked, recently asked is how come there is no women in this party? Because Ovadia, Yosef's daughter, want to be in the Knesset, and she wanted to found her own party. And I asked her and I asked other women, how come there is no women in Shas? And the answer I received was the rabbis do not approve. And from Adina, the daughters of Ovadia Yosef told me that she's obeying the rabbis. And this is one point. And the second point, perhaps I'll introduce myself. So I consider myself as someone who was brought up in the ultra-Orthodox society, but my God's name was Stalin. I was raised in a kibbutz, and my God, my God was Stalin, and but I'm not there anymore. But I understand what how an ultra-Orthodox society works. So now I want to say a few things about Rabbi Ovadia before I go into the what is his worldview regarding women. I've been studying this topic of women in Shas and all sorts of, and I've been studying the rabbis' rulings. So first of all, we need to understand that Rabbi Ovadia came from a very poor family, and he always claimed that he became a very important status because of two women. One was his mother, who understand the potential of her little child, and the second one was his wife, who sacrificed her own life for him to be able to study. And when she died, his wife, he said that it's all because of her. And now I'd like to show you how come I cannot change the slide. I have a problem here. Just click enter, please. I'm trying to fix something. Is it better now? No, I still cannot see.
אני עושה הגדרת, רק שנייה, עשיתי הגדרת שקופיות ועשיתי את מה שאני עושה תמיד, ואני לא מבינה למה אני לא, מההתחלה?
כן, כן.
מההתחלה, ללחוץ מההתחלה?
כן.
אוקיי, אז עכשיו זה עובר? אוקיי, עכשיו רואים? אוקיי?
כן, כן.
בסדר, רק שנייה, הקטנתי את זה, לא, אני רוצה, קודם. אני רוצה גם, ענבל, אם את מוכנה להגיד לי מה אתם רואים?
ענבל, what can you see? We see your presentation, but you need to enlarge the screen. Yes, that's better. That's so much better. So I'd like to start and I'll speak about a few points. And one of them is education. It was mentioned beforehand, one of the most important projects of Rabbi Ovadia was to establish an academic college for women. And after that, men started studying there as well, separately, but his daughter, Adina Bar Shalom, helped him. And I would like to describe two events in which I attended, actually to show you that Rabbi Ovadia Yosef really thought that it was important. First of all, what you can see here was it just is the 10th anniversary of this college. And Adina, the daughter, is standing there and addressing the audience, which is composed of mm, all the leaders of the state attended, all members of the Knesset and ministers of Shas and politicians and other politicians. And she is standing there and she's giving a long speech there. And afterwards, I heard from her and other members of Shas, how dare she? How dare she do it? It's not appropriate for a woman to talk on the stage in front of so many men. And it happened in 2011, 10 years after the college was established, and people did not like it. And the second example in 2013, she spoke also. She gave a speech in this event of graduation ceremony, and she actually addressed the public. But I think that perhaps the most important event, that is the most meaningful one, was at the when she there was a ceremony of graduation ceremony, and Professor Zamira was the head of the social work faculty in Bar Ilan, and she organized the whole ceremony event. And now think about a situation that I'll try to describe right now. It was at Binyanei Ha'uma in Jerusalem. It's a very tall, impressive hall. On the stage, there are two tables for the distinguished guests, and there is one table for women, the other table for men, and where Ovadia Yosef sat, and there is a podium in the middle of them. So Rabbi Ovadia Yosef was looking straight to the public, and when Professor Zmira Mevarech went on the stage to talk, to address the public, he just actually looked at her and emphasized the fact that he actually pays respect to her. And contrary, I can tell you that the one who actually took his place is the Rabbi Shalom Cohen. And about a year after Rabbi Ovadia passed away, Rabbi Shalom Cohen came up with this ruling that women are not allowed to study in academic institutions. It just shows you how Rabbi Ovadia was so unique. Now, I'd like to say a word about the Zionist, religious Zionist. You can see Rivka, another daughter of Ovadia Yosef. She married a rabbi, and he is from the Zionist religious Zionism, so it's completely different. He's not a Haredi, and there was so many complaints, and people asked, how come you are allowing your daughter to marry someone from another sector? And Rabbi Ovadia said, I don't care what he wears on his head. I like what's important is what he has in his head. So now you can see in this favorite picture of mine that her with her husband and two of her sons who are soldiers in the IDF. And now I want to explain that again, it's very unique because about a year after Rabbi Ovadia Yosef died, Rabbi Shalom Cohen, and I just copied it from the newspaper Chadshot Surgim on 14th of July 2013, Rabbi Shalom Cohen said that those who wear knitted skull caps are like Amalek and they are our enemies. And here we can see, and this is the headlines, the Amalek grandchild of Rabbi Ovadia Yosef. So you can see Rabbi Ovadia actually with his grandchild who is a soldier. He wears a knitted skull cap and he joined the IDF. So we can see that it can work in different ways. One more thing that talks about the contribution of Rabbi Ovadia Yosef. This next point is what we have here. I just copied it from the newspaper's headline. Look, in 2017, Rabbi Yitzhak Yosef, who's the son of Rabbi Ovadia, and is still the chief sporadic rabbi of Israel, he found this affair that took place 2 years beforehand, that the rabbi of Tzfai actually allowed a woman to remarry after her husband became a vegetable. And Rabbi Yosef said that all rabbis should gather and cancel this divorce that was given to this woman. And there was also someone petitioned to the High Court of Justice, and the High Court of Justice said that it's not in the rabbinical court jurisdiction. So I wanted to find a certain ruling by Ovadia Yosef that refers to this subject of actually liberating chained women. And I want to give you an example. One of his rulings, of Ovadia Yosef rulings, here he talks about a woman whose husband was not a vegetable, but her husband was mentally ill and he was hospitalized for many years. And the woman wanted to get a divorce. She asked for a divorce, and it was a young woman. And Rabbi Ovadia said there is no chance he's going to give her a divorce because he's mentally ill and he's hospitalized in a psychiatric hospital. So we can rely on what our the sages said, and we should liberate this woman. So we actually can see what Rabbi Ovadia did as opposed to what others do, including his sons. And then I found another interesting rulings, and I want to mention it. So a woman comes to the rabbinical court, and she said that she's still a virgin after being married for 1 year, and she said that her husband is impotent. Her husband is impotent. So the husband admitted it, and he said, right, but I know that actually doctors will be able to help us, and we will be able to get pregnant. But the woman said no, she wants a real man. She doesn't want to do it this way. And there was a bit of a hesitation, but then Rabbi Ovadia said that she is entitled to live as any other woman. And so we can actually see him that he had very unique opinions. There is another court ruling which is very famous about Rabbi Ovadia preferred pants to miniskirts. And I can see in this article when they interviewed one of her daughters, she said that she was that she was responsible for it because there is this woman, a friend of there, and she started wearing miniskirts, and her father wanted to kick her out of the house. And Rabbi Ovadia said that she rather wears pants and not miniskirts. So it's not that Rabbi Ovadia prefers pants, not at all, because it's not considered a female clothing, but he prefers it to a more exposed body. And there was a kind of compromise. And afterwards, the father did not kick out his daughter from home. Rabbi Ovadia really liked Kulthum, the singer. He was exposed to her was when he was deputy chief rabbi, and he heard her singing, and he liked it a lot. And then we saw him later when they asked him whether men are entitled to listen to women singing, and he said that yes, men can do that, but with certain restrictions. You better not know her, and you better hear her singing through the radio, because the radio is a kind of filter, and it's better if you don't know her personally, because if you don't know her, you won't be able to think about her in certain ways. But yes, on the whole, he said that it was allowed to listen to women singers through the radio or recordings, and he really liked Kulthum. He listened to her a lot when he was in Egypt and afterwards. So we can see a type of modernity here. When he was asked these questions, but perhaps one of the most political issues that he had to uh, to deal with was when Tzipi Livni was the head of the Kadima political party at the Knesset. It was the biggest party, and then they asked him, Shas asked him, can we actually join Tzipi Livni? Can we join this party because it's led by a woman? And his answer was yes. He said that he prefers a religious man as a leader, but if it's not possible, then it doesn't really matter if it's a secular man or a secular woman. So it's not that, yes, go for it. It wasn't. There were some kinds of reservations because he was an ultra-Orthodox rabbi. You need to understand the context. But yes, you can join Tzipi Livni because there is no one else that a rabbi prefers. And I'd like to describe some court rulings. I'd like to describe a few court rulings of Rabbi Ovadia, and he was exposed. You need to understand something about him. Ever since he was a child or a teenager, ever since he was 16 or 17, he used to give Torah lessons to people in Jerusalem, and he used to, I don't know, give the lessons every night, and he understood who his audience was. He understood that they weren't Ashkenazi ultra Orthodox, but still they wanted to study. And then he was exposed to the different kind of society, but this is the society that he later referred to and addressed when he became the leader of Shas. And in this society, there are modern women, and there are a few interesting things here. He tells us that women can, the question was whether women, okay, so I want to go to the ritual bath. Do you think and I wear makeup. Can I go with my makeup? Can I actually I dyed my hair and my fingernails? Can I go to the ritual bath? He always told them, yes, go to the ritual bath. It's not that he preferred, he didn't like, tattoos. He didn't like hair dye. He didn't like it. He would rather not have it, but he realized that this was he understood that this is how it is, and he didn't want that to prevent them from going to the ritual bath. And he also said that women could undergo plastic surgeries if they think they are not pretty enough. So obviously, they want to be prettier for their husband. So it's not about young women who wants to become prettier in order to get married. No, he actually referred especially to married women. We need to finish in 2 minutes. Really? Really? Okay, so wait a minute. So I'd like to see What I have, okay, if I only have 2 minutes, then perhaps I'll say the following. He said that women can actually, people can be part of the religious ritual. He said that women can install mezuzah, women can actually moderate the Passover Eve if there are no men around. He said that women can read the book of Esther for men if um, and exempt the men, and women are entitled to go to the synagogue and the Western Wall when during their period. So I'd like to sum up and say the following. I'd like to say the following. The claim is we have to understand I'm speaking about Rabbi Ovadia Yosef and women, the way he treated women, and I give lectures for the religious Zionism public, and I ask them, do you believe that he actually gave these decisions? And everybody said no. So we can see a kind of political courage which is no longer with us because his successors are so different from him. They treat women in a different way. Okay, there are a few slides missing here, but anyway, so thank you very much. It was really, really short, too short actually. Thank you very much. I'm sorry we don't have more time with you, but we need to move on to the next